Hey guys, we're back again. Welcome back to Northwest Premier's Championship Roundup. My name is Clarence Presley. To my right is Deshaun Presley. To my left is Charles Burnham. And today we have a special guest today, man.
Appreciate you guys having me on the show.
Hey, glad to have you, man. We got a lot of stuff to cover. We got some special announcements, so make sure you guys tell folks, send them requests, tell them to sign in on Northwest Premier Junior Football and Cheers Facebook page so you guys can see all these announcements. But as we get started, guys, let's first do a quick recap of this championship weekend. It was a great season, man.
It was
great season.
It was. I mean, we had a lot of great games over the whole season. I mean, back and forth from having our Thomas Bowls and push-up bowls.
That was cool.
Yeah,
that
things of those
really
natures, man. Just great competition across the board. So I mean, this championship, we were looking down the pipeline, just already knowing that it was going to be a great matchup, whoever was there. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was exciting. It was definitely exciting.
Great sportsmanship the entire postseason. I mean, hats off to all the kids.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, first, second place, third place. I don't care. I mean, we saw some good football.
Right.
You know, sometimes the scores weren't indicative of that, but watching the games, we had some great games that took place during this postseason, and like we talked about before, man, this conference thing, it worked out better than we ever imagined.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. And before we get to the details, we did have Taylor stop by a couple times and get a chance to peek his head in. What was your thoughts, Taylor, of the little bit of what you saw with playoffs and championship?
I'm actually glad you asked me that because I was going to say it right after what you guys said. I've been in this industry for a long time, and I'm from Oregon, and I've seen all these different leagues and groups, and I can tell you, I went out there, I didn't even tell these guys I was coming. I just went out, showed up, I got down on the field, I was up in the booth, in the stands, and just the whole environment set up. People that are part of it, I hope you really appreciate how first class it is, how hard these guys work behind the scenes. You just show up on game day and see it, but the amount of work, phone calls, emails, social media posts, organization, and how much time and effort these guys are taking away from their families, from their work is incredible. And watching the quality of competition, I commend you guys. The setup, the age groups, and how it was structured, it's the best I've ever seen. And I was glad to get out there. I enjoyed it so much, I went back the next week.
Right.
I don't have a kid in the league. I don't have a team. I'm not partners with them. I just went out there because I enjoyed it so much, and it was first class from A to Z.
Man, we appreciate that. And that's coming from a color commentary on Root Sport, who actually, you got a game coming up this
week. Portland State, Eastern Washington, the Dam Cup battle. So
the Dam Cup.
Eastern Washington. I thought they were joking when they told me. I'm like, you're going to have me cuss on there. That's what it's called.
Right.
Well, guys, really quickly, let's go ahead and do a recap over the championship games. Let's first start off with our freshman game. It was the Rainier Ravens versus the Puget Sound Lancers.
Yes.
And we have a freshman champion, overall champion. Rainier Ravens came away with the victory. Talk about that game. First, give them the score so everybody know how that game turned out.
Well,
31.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, the score ended up being a 31-0 ball game. And from the jump, I mean, the Ravens are just a tough squad, man. I'm not taking anything away from the Lancers, but the Ravens, I mean, on both sides of the ball, came out and, they were dominant. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You have to call it the way that you see it. They had a couple of guys just on that team that I kind of want to, put at the forefront. Jay Sean Wilson, I mean, his feet are something else at that age.
His vision's ahead of his time.
He's able to see things before they happen. He made a couple of great plays in there that kind of would have made your face a little tight. Like, ooh, I can't believe at that age. You know what I'm saying? He could do that already. Javion Frost, just a big kid.
Oh man,
that just was
kept
carrying.
his name on defense.
He was carrying defenders on the defensive side of the ball. You also had Vontae Richardson that was penetrating that offensive line, making tackles in the backfield. I can't forget my guy, Michael Wayman. He had a heck of a carry in this game. A lot of the things that he was doing in the game, making tackles,
They were poised.
Yeah, they were
little kids.
They were. I mean, it was almost like they were playing on a higher level the way they played together.
Yeah.
I was more impressed with their defensive discipline
Mm-hmm.
than I was with anything else.
Yeah.
Like the gap control,
Mhm.
like you don't normally see gap
Right,
control
right,
at that
right,
level.
right.
These cats had gap control.
That's Coach Matt Wayne.
Yeah.
I'll say in spite of Coach Matt.
In
Wayne.
spite of him?
Yeah, but that was, you can tell they've been taught well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
these kids were in their gaps,
Mm-hmm.
they contained the perimeter, and they made it tough. I mean, and hats off to the Lancers because
Yeah.
that was just a tough defense.
That
to go
was.
against.
That was.
That's
And
a
on
tough
on their side of the ball, the
Yeah,
Lancers,
talk about
man,
one. Yep.
Marquise Huggins, man,
Hey.
doo-wop
Goodness
is.
gracious.
This is I've said it for the last probably 3 weeks. This is the hardest hitting kid I've ever seen at that
Pound
age,
for
man.
pound,
And I
if it was
kid you
boxing,
not.
it's like
Yeah,
pound for
I kid you
pound
not.
hitter.
Yes.
He has to be
Exactly.
probably.
The kid comes downhill,
And he
like
doesn't break
Sean-
stride, though.
No, he comes
He does
downhill
not
like Sean
break
Taylor.
stride.
I mean, we were just talking about it earlier, man. He can be within yards of you. I'm talking about 3 to 4, and he still lays the wood like he
Yeah.
ran from about 8 yards out.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy,
Yeah.
man. So it was.
Very
it was
explosive.
enjoyable just to watch those two teams. They both were great teams throughout the whole year. There had to be one winner. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's what
Yeah.
it always comes down to. But hats off to both squads, man. Great job to Coach Matt and his coaching staff. And also to the Puget Sound Lancers.
Yep.
On their
Coach
side,
Cal
they
and those guys.
Yeah.
they did an awesome
Great
job.
job.
Did a great
They
job.
got
Great
there.
job.
Yeah, they got
I mean,
there,
they
right.
got there.
Hey,
Right.
like I told him, I said, hey, you're playing in one of the toughest leagues in the state.
Yeah,
And only 2 of you guys got here.
Right.
Out of 12.
Right.
Only 2 of you could make it.
Right.
So be
Right.
proud of that journey.
Yeah, heck of a game. Let's go ahead and shift guys over to that sophomore division where we had Auburn Panthers playing 5-star Cougars.
Yeah.
In a heck of a game. Why don't you give us a quick score update on that game,
That
Charles?
score was 26-12 Auburn. Again, looked very similar to the first week when they played them at Auburn. I think Auburn was even more consistent this game. I'm proud of my 5-star kids because they came a long way.
they did.
A lot of those kids, Coach D, hats off, 2 years
Great job.
back to back in the
Did a
championship.
great job.
But Coach
T, man.
Coach T, man,
Yeah,
that team is solid.
They're well coached.
Yes,
And they are disciplined.
Again, discipline though, discipline. You didn't see a whole lot of errors from them. They weren't putting the ball on the ground, and they made it happen. 5-star put the ball on the ground, turned it over a couple of times. And what I liked most about Auburn, they gave you exactly what they gave you at the beginning of the season. Just consistent. They gave you the same look. A wrinkle here and there, but they were the same dude you saw in week 1.
yeah.
Which I love. I love that consistent because the kids love that when they know what's coming next. So
What I loved about them is their diversity of how they could switch it up.
Yes.
They could run the football
They
on
could
you
be
to the
power,
outside.
yeah.
They could be power on the inside, but they could also run that play action fake and throw it over the top to their tight end.
yeah,
And
the
which
little
was-
pop pass they had with the play
man,
action.
it was
that
it was
a
it was
yeah.
beautiful to watch, especially at that level. You know what I'm saying?
Catch it
Seeing-
sleeping.
right? You know
Yes.
what I mean? And you could tell that they had a methodical game plan coming in, exactly what they wanted to do.
Yep.
So it just made it beautiful to watch. I mean, Elijah Carney, he's a heck of a running back, a heck of a running back. And like I said last week, I didn't realize how physically his size. For some reason, I don't know why. From first,
I didn't realize how big
yeah.
Auburn was.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
watching him the first game, I thought that he was a lot smaller. But I mean, he physically imposed his size a lot of time in those runs to where you could kind of tell after a while kids were kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just kind of fall with you, like you know what I mean. I don't really want to run in with
Yeah.
you. So he was definitely.
They had number 44. I forget my man's name, man. But dude, I for a minute there, I started to ask his mom because I was talking to her. Like, did this dude drive to the game?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
8,
Yeah.
man. He looked like a grown man. He
yeah.
was big.
Yeah.
And I just forgot how physically imposing they were. I mean, 5-star is a pretty big team.
Yeah, yeah.
But they weren't as big as as Auburn.
Auburn,
So
exactly.
it stuck
What I
out.
love about that setup too, the way you guys have it structured is these kids, like when you get to high school, if you're a sophomore, you're playing seniors. You're playing
Yeah,
guys that are
yeah.
bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah.
So at a young age, when you get exposed to it, like you guys have with the setup, these kids are prepped,
Mhm.
right? They get a chance to compete. But hey, if you take your lumps, lick your wounds, and learn from it.
Right.
And that's the great thing, and is watching the way you guys have it set up, and the coaches in the systems. I watched how they were coaching and teaching their kids, and it was really nice to see the teaching. That's missing so much in youth sports in general now. Is coaches make it just about winning and peacocking around, being
Right.
the winner, and that's great. but there's a bigger purpose to it.
Yeah.
And you watch how these kids are doing it, even the championship games what you guys are talking about, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, there was just some incredible, athleticism.
Yeah.
But you guys said it earlier, man. The preparation, I think, that Coach T brought to his players, and he has a bevy of kids.
He does.
That
He
entire
does.
team plays well from the line,
Right.
to the linebackers, the DBs, on both sides of the ball. The QB is intelligent.
Very.
The
Very.
running backs. Valdez and
His son as well.
his Coach T's son is a heck of a player, and it's funny because and I won't stay on this too long, but at Jamboree, the introduction of Auburn Panthers in Northwest Premier, a lot of teams didn't think Auburn was going to bring anything,
A lot of people thought
and
that
we
was gonna be a
saw
gourmet,
them.
yeah.
I remember that first week, Chuck, you said those kids are stout over there, and
That
we
was
didn't
shocking,
realize
bro.
how
It
well
was.
they played.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that they were they were the champion of their league last year coming in.
They were.
And, they got a couple fans and coaches that's on some other levels, Mike Valdez and those guys that's been saying all year long,
Yeah.
why isn't Auburn in the consideration when you're
Right.
talking about all these other teams? Well, guess what? They are now.
They stake their claim.
Right now, they are in there.
They did.
And it doesn't take away from any of the other teams out there, but you gotta recognize this team. So
They're not gonna sneak up on nobody no more.
oh no, everybody knows that Auburn's in the house here.
Yeah.
Hats off to you guys
job.
in a fantastic season, and again, also hats off to 5-Star for getting there.
Yes.
We recognize you as well. Let's move over to the junior division. We had a game between the SeaTac Sharks and who did they play?
They played my 5-star Cougars.
5-Star. I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah,
It
your
happens.
nephew mad at
It
you
happens, man. It happens.
Hey, 5-Star Cougars.
Yes.
Well, I was running around, man. I'm mad at this stuff.
Hey, me too.
So go ahead and give us what was that score on that game?
That score was a 33-8 ball game. Make sure I get that right, so I don't have any SeaTac Sharks parents coming at me later on. 33-8. It was from the outset. I think the Sharks just were physical. You know what I mean? Giving that ball to Papa, man. Papa is just a load to stop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so they ground and pound. In the beginning of the game, and it was actually, man, 5-Star. Couple kids got hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Turned the
Out
ball
the gate,
over early.
my boy got hurt. I believe Jay Brown got hurt. I mean, it was just a couple of kids. They were just being real physical out there, man. And after a while,
I got to interrupt real quick
Why is
because
that?
I need to ask Taylor a question.
Okay.
Taylor, now you're the QB guru. Now this is my question. No disrespect. I love Coach Frank and everyone else. I got to ask this though: would you start your starting quarterback on defense?
Ooh.
Just a question. This is a coaching moment. I just need to ask because that was something that I've been having some debates with some folks.
So it's funny, yes, I was on a conference call today with Eastern Washington's head coach, and they have a quarterback that's a phenomenal athlete, Gage Gabrut. He's actually up for like the equivalent of the Heisman for the FCS level. And we were talking about he's such a great athlete on the defensive side of the ball and just running him in the offense. I think it's tough. I think it's kind of a team-by-team decision and what your personnel is. At the youth level, I mean, you want to get your best athletes on the field and have those guys playing. At the same time, if you got your quarterback and if he gets hurt and you got to go to your number 2, that could be a problem, right? I mean, even at the high school, college level, most teams, NFL, Arizona Cardinals, Carson Palmer goes down, Drew Stant comes in.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Right.
So you got to be careful with the coach. You want to get your best dudes on the field, but at the same time, you got to think of the overall of the team's interest, that if he gets hurt on defense, making a tackle, breaks a thumb, anything like that, that could hurt you. So
Yeah.
Right.
And I know it can go either way,
Yeah.
especially at the youth level. You're looking for whichever athlete that can make the plays, but you got to consider that when you're playing that kind of game.
Yeah.
But it was a heck of a game, man.
It was, and hats off to to the SeaTac Sharks. I mean, like we always say, if you have a game plan and you come in and you execute it, and the other team doesn't, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win that ball game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what they did. They executed exactly what they wanted to do. It was ground and pound against those guys, tire them out. You know what I mean? And let's go score this football. And that's what they did.
Hey, and they're not, like I said, they're not going to sneak up on anybody. Everybody who plays them knows what's going to happen.
Right.
Question is,
can you
buck
stop
up
it?
and stop it?
Right.
Can you stop-
Right.
That's a real test
Right.
of
Right.
intestinal fortitude. Is
Yeah.
the ball's coming right at me. I know it's coming. Now can I bow up
Yeah.
and and be a problem
Right.
on defense?
Yeah.
And hey, hats off to them.
Yeah.
They didn't run into anybody that could be a problem this year.
And
So I'm
shout
in
out to the 5-star kids. They
Yeah.
had
They
heart.
did. They
Great
did.
team.
Have
They hung in there. They did the best
Yep.
that they could. You know what I mean? And I mean, like we said, there's always got to be one winner,
Overmatched,
man.
yeah.
Got to be one winner.
One
And
winner.
I hope you guys can take offense. That was just,
No.
you know, stuff is on my mind, man. Sometimes I just got to say it.
I think, and going back to your question, for me as a coach, it depended on what level. Like, I had a senior team where my middle linebacker was also my quarterback, which was risky, but that dude was durable. And it cost me some plays. But then I've had other teams lower levels where I'm like, okay, that kid probably can't take that pounding. I'm not putting him out there, so I'm gonna leave him at quarterback.
I got to send a shout out real quick. I just seen Coach E kind of chime in. He said that they had 5 touchdowns and got 4 different people in the end zone. So what he's telling us basically is don't focus on one player. I got you, E. I see where you're
We
coming
ain't
from.
focused on
man.
one player, but
We
it's
just-
one style.
Yeah, but
and it's called grind them up.
I'm just answering to the question that
Yeah.
to what he posted. I hear you.
They were well rounded
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure this
yeah.
game. But I will say this, and this is a huge shout out to SeaTac and what they did. They did run a little play action. I saw.
I was getting ready to say.
I saw a couple things that they
That's
threw out there in
surprising,
this game. 5 Stars defense did step up in those holes in this game, and they spread the ball around.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you and I said earlier on our way here is that if I had to give an MVP for the league, now this doesn't mean best player, but the most valuable to their team, Papa Afua, man, overall in the entire league was probably the most dominant player in his division, that impacted his team's success.
I agree.
Now, that doesn't take anything away from the players.
Yeah. No,
at,
no,
at,
not
at
at all.
SeaTac. I think their players, I love those guys. They grew up around us.
Yeah.
And so, and the coaches are
But if
heck
you
of a
move,
coaches.
remove him, it totally changes the cosmetic makeup of that team.
Well, you got to coach it a different style.
You got to play a totally different way, and so that changes your cosmetic makeup. Now the play action that I saw from him in the championship, that's a nice wrinkle.
Well, they got some playmakers.
Yeah.
EJ, there's a
Yep.
bunch of guys over there, and we can't ever leave out. They didn't get there without running Stitchy.
Yep.
People didn't even realize that Stitchy is Leilani.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
a girl,
Yeah.
Yep.
but she is imposing.
Yeah.
And Stitchy,
Hey.
she will beat you down, man. And then they got speed over there.
Yeah,
We
definitely.
saw little Bradford catch a
shout
touchdown.
out to my nephew Jamari Bradford caught a beautiful touchdown in the end zone on a layout.
Yep.
They did, man. They did spread the ball around. They did a lot of different things, which that you have to give shout out to the coaches on that. That we don't want to come in just running the same old,
Yeah.
and if it gets stopped, we got something for that.
Yeah.
So again, great job, SeaTac, on
Yep.
your victory.
Definitely.
Take nothing away from you guys, and 5-star way to get there in your division.
Great
You guys came out and competed.
Right.
Good
Hats
job.
off to you coaches as well.
Definitely.
Really quickly, now we're going to transition to our seniors. That was the game I think most of the region wanted to come see. Puget Sound Lancers versus the Rainier Ravens, and the Puget Sound Lancers came away with the victory.
Hey.
Yep.
Let's talk about that. What was that score?
39-19 Lancers.
And they jumped out on them early, man.
Early.
They had a 20-0
Yeah.
lead.
I want to say there was Ravens threw 3-4 picks in the first
Yeah.
quarter.
Yeah.
First half,
Yeah, it was
so
bad. It was bad.
it hurt. I mean, they gave up a short field a lot early, and
Yeah.
when that happens, bad things are going to happen.
Man, I just have to go back to Coach Curtis, man. He
I don't want to give him.
Hey
no
man,
credit.
I give him. I'm gonna be honest
I gotta
with you.
listen to it.
He told us early in the
Yeah,
game
he
of
did.
what he was gonna do, how he was gonna do it, and he executed it. That's been our common theme is executing your plan. And he said, when it comes down to it, man, we're ready. We're definitely ready. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna hand it to them. And those kids came out there with the same mind frame.
Yeah.
They came out there as like, we're ready to just roll over you guys, and there's nothing that you can do about it.
They got off to a great start.
Yeah.
It was a fast-paced game when they came out. And honestly, if you watch the first couple of possessions, the defense on both sides was standing. And then Lancers shocked me. They went away from the run game and threw a pass to Jalen Green.
That was shocking.
And he wouldn't got it.
He did.
That shocked me that they went there that soon,
early,
and knowing that they're a run team, and then they went back to what they do, is they run the football, and on defense they're swarming with their speed, the Ravens, I think, got a little bit away from what their game plan was supposed to be, you know, and went back to some other things that I think threw them off. You saw when they went to that game plan in the third quarter, they started moving the ball. But you can't take anything away from these Lancers. They came out playing fast, strong, and hard. Coach Curtis and Coach Raheem, you know, Coach Leon. We oftentimes leave out old chairman, the chairman.
You know, you talk about a game plan, and Mike Tyson had that quote in boxing. He said, "Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth."
Right.
And you can come in with a game plan all you want, scheme everything, but once you line up and you start taking some punches, and a team gets on you, all of a sudden you gotta reevaluate things. Is this working, or all of a sudden we get in a hole? We're down 2 touchdowns. We got to change things up. Maybe we can't just ground and pound. We got to toss it. So it can change really quickly once you get on the field and it's game time.
I honestly, in the second half, I was a little disappointed. I was hoping to see the Ravens. They actually had some success at it. Lancers came out in that cover 2 shell. And the Ravens finally threw a 7 route, a corner route, and it went home run. But I would have loved to have seen some more of that working underneath zone and then exploiting the cover 2 safeties. But, you know, for whatever reason, they got away from it. They went back to it. They got away from it again. And we just, you didn't see it on a consistent basis. Because they had guys running scot-free underneath. They did. They had guys running.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. I was standing in that end zone and I saw guys running scot-free underneath. And they got caught in a little bit of man free. And guys were running away from coverage. But, you know, and hats off to the Lancers. Pass rush got there.
Pass rush was there.
Pass rush is what got them in trouble. What got the Ravens in trouble.
That's such a big deal on pass rush, because if you can get pressure on a quarterback just rushing with your D lineman, now it allows you to mix it up, getting zone coverage back there where guys know they don't have to defend as long. And man, you know you're not going to have to guard a guy as long. So when you can get pressure, and that pressure also gets penetration in the run game. So now running backs don't have those holes, cutback lanes. They gotta change direction, and that just, when you have a dominant D lineman, that's why we talk in like college football, SEC. That's the difference. In every conference, you got good perimeter players, but those guys in the trenches, those big hogs at LSU and Bama, those big D tackles. So when you're talking about it, you got a D line that can win a game like that. DBs are going to look good.
And don't underestimate at the junior level how hard it is for a quarterback to stand under fire and still deliver a ball. Most kids at this age, as soon as they see the pressure, their eyes come down to the pressure, and now they've forgotten about all their progressions, and now they just want to take off. They want to get out of there. And we saw that happen time after time on Saturday. You know, the 4 got there, he looks down, he's got a guy running a drag route wide open, but he can't see him because he's feeling pressure in his face. So it's valuable. It's incredibly valuable.
Definitely.
Well, I'm glad that's a great segue. You're talking about quarterbacks and progressions and looking downfield. That brings us up to an introduction, you know, that we wanted to make to the league. We are getting ready to transition out of our tackle season, but that doesn't mean that football is over. We obviously got All-Star Weekend. We'll talk about that in a moment, and Nationals. But we want to talk a little bit about 7-on-7 and this partnership we're establishing with the 7-on-7 Association. And we have Mr. Taylor Barton here to give us some information about that, so that all of you families out there will know there's still opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity actually to help develop the kids and get them better in the off season, and also get some eyes on them, some exposure that happens with that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so you're hearing it here first. These guys running everything they're running at such a big time way. We're officially making an announcement that we're going to have a partnership with Premier and with the 7-on-7 Association. So what we're doing is, in January through May, we're running a big 7-on-7 program where we got franchises all throughout the Northwest. Just like these guys have franchises in their league with teams, and we're going to give an opportunity. We have youth and high school divisions, but we're going to run a youth one here, and kids are going to have an opportunity. And 7-on-7 is just, it's football without linemen and without the pads. They'll have a protective helmet on. We're sponsored by Game Breaker, so they'll wear that. And it's just a great opportunity for kids, as we talk about it, to just get reps and to improve. And everyone's going to get an opportunity. So if you're on a team Everyone's going to get reps and play. We're not going to have just starters and then other guys on the team just helping fund those guys. Everyone's going to get reps and get a chance to play. We're doing tournaments throughout the Northwest, so you get to go to Bellingham, Tri-Cities, Salem, Oregon, and we're doing one national tournament in Las Vegas. Who doesn't love going to Vegas, right? Give me an excuse to get out there. I'm out there. So we're partnering up where they're gonna run a franchise, and they're gonna have kids and teams coming in. We have structured practices, and the key is development. So when we're having practices, whatever position you are, we've got a position coach at each one of those. Receivers, Mike Bush, who was the starting receiver at Washington State when they went to the Rose Bowl. Willie Hurst at running back, started at University of Washington. Jay Sean Jordan at DB, started at University of Idaho. Deion Alexander at linebacker, started at Eastern Washington. Plaque is up in their coach's office. He was an All-American. I'll take quarterbacks. So kids are going to come in practice and get developed, and then have a chance to go play these games, and you get to travel around to these tournaments without the astronomical overhead cost of airfare, rental car, hotel to all these tournaments. So it's going to be a great opportunity for kids to just get reps, play, keep learning the game, have fun with their friends and teammates, have competition. The same environment that these guys have done such an incredible job of establishing competition, development, but keeping it all above board, understanding it's about the kids and giving them opportunities. And that's why we partnered up, because that's what this is about. This isn't about one person or group or program or trainer that has everybody and is taking the credit. This is just about the kids. So we're really excited to announce this partnership. You'll be able to contact any one of these three gentlemen to get information. The website is the 7on7association.com, and it's just a website. And when we talk exposure, Brandon Huffman is the National Director of Recruiting for Scout.com, the #1 guy. So when you hear about kids having stars or rankings, he's in charge of that. And he's committed to be at every tournament. And the reason he's doing that is his daughter passed away from a brain tumor, and they set up a foundation for her, and we're giving proceeds from all the tournaments to her foundation, and we're naming the tournament tour after her. Everything we do, it's not about the bottom line for a dollar or money. We want to do things that help kids and have a good cause, and we're all in the same boat on that. You see how these guys get down with everything, and I'm honored to be partnering with them on this. And I think once you guys look into it, whether you have a kid that's 4th grade, 8th grade, there's opportunities for him, and he'll get a chance to play, compete, and develop, and most importantly, have fun.
Yeah, that's awesome, Taylor. We appreciate the structure that you've implemented, and it lines up with our core values. And just so you organizations out there and franchises know, if there's some coaches out there that are interested, we got some details to talk to you about. Even if you want to do it, whether it's with your franchise and run it under the Premier brand that we'll be launching within this league, or you want to partner up with other franchises and create a team and a couple of coaches. You can talk to Deshaun or Charles about that. They'll be overseeing and coordinating that process going into the 7-on-7 season. So we are excited.
I'll say one more
Sure.
thing too. A big thing when we talk about development, a big thing is also developing coaches.
Exactly.
Because coaches are the ones every day in season working with their kids and trying to develop a position. And I always tell people this: 0 is a higher number than -10. So actually, a kid not doing anything compared to being taught the wrong things, he's better off not doing anything. So we're going to be developing coaches. So at practice, we encourage and emphasize coaches coming and shadowing our coaches as they're teaching the kids the terminology, so we keep it consistent. And these kids now can take what they're learning, go back to their program, and these coaches can go back to their youth programs wherever they are and have the terminology and the consistency. So we're building it from the ground up with a solid foundation, just as they've built Premier with a solid foundation. It's not a house of cards. It's done the right way with the right people for the right reason, and that's how we're doing this, and that's what I'm really, really excited about.
And these guys are going to be working together to come back to you all and announce tryout, so that you all, it'll be happening in December.
December
December
3rd.
December
Yep.
3rd. Okay.
Sunday, December 3rd, Kentwood High School.
Yep.
10 to noon. You can get the tryout link on the website, the 7on7association.com, but we'll have flyers. You can get on their site, and we'll make sure we're posting it out there. But we'll be out there. And if you can't make that tryout, we'll have another tryout date we'll do. So you just got to let us know, and then we'll try and work with you, even if we just did a small group training. We want opportunities for everyone. We want top kids, don't get me wrong. We want to go out and win. But if you have a son that was the third string running back, if he wants to compete and develop and get better, come out, we got a home for him.
Fantastic. Thanks, Taylor.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
It's an awesome opportunity. You guys, you definitely want to take advantage of it if you're serious about developing your student athlete for football. Definitely get on board with that. Guys, we've got All-Star Weekend coming up this weekend, this Friday. I'm excited.
I am too.
You know, I'm excited. It's, you know, I know there's a lot of emotion going into All-Star, you know, but I'm excited because All-Star Weekend is bigger than just football for us. You know, and I'm going to have Charles go ahead and go over the schedule so people know what they can expect this weekend.
Yes, All-Star Weekend, like we said, it's truly a weekend. So Friday, we kick it off with our All-Star recognition ceremony. That's at 6 o'clock at Renton Red Lion Hotel. That will be home base. That will be headquarters for us for the entire weekend. Everything will take place with the exception of practice and games at the Red Lion Hotel. So 6 o'clock we have recognition ceremony. And
that's where you'll get your uniforms.
Yes.
Will be given, and if you can't make it that night, your coach will have your uniforms when you show up to practice.
So, we'll recognize all the players and their teams within their conferences, and have a great time with family and friends there. 8 o'clock, we are doing bingo. The ladies are coming out. The ladies from the church are coming out, and they're going to run bingo. So if you've never done bingo, I played bingo in a classroom years ago, but I ain't never played bingo for no money.
Hey, man.
I'm ready to get down with that.
Y'all better come out and be ready to go. They do it big time. It's a fundraising event, but there is cash prizes.
Yes.
So $25 gets you 10 boards. They're doing a $250 blackout, but we're doing all this to raise proceeds, you know, to help support sending our teams to nationals and to help with the CD team going down to Naples. So definitely tell all your family and friends. I know there's things going on Friday night. There's big games going on, but for some of you that don't want to go out and be in the cold, and you got family members that love bingo, this is an opportunity. Please show up and support our kids. We're going to have bingo going from starting at 8 o'clock until they're done.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So please come out and join us. Saturday, we have again Red Lion Hotel. Our workshops starting at 8 a.m. The first hour, we've got All-Star players and breakfast at 8 a.m.
And that's included. So the All-Star players and coaches have breakfast from 8 to 8:50 Saturday morning. That is included in their registration. Coaches are free as well. Just want to remind you, it's the head coach and 4 additional coaches. Coaches, if you have an additional 3 coaches, they can come and be on your practice field, but it's not covered in this package. So if you got your coaches, at least 5 of you get to eat for free.
Yeah.
So,
So Sean, if anybody, please get those lists over to Deshaun. If you have not got your coach's roster in,
please
give me the first 5, and then tell me who the rest of the guys are. Get those over to Sean so we can have those at the door when our coaches arrive Saturday morning, please.
And you can send that to our email at Northwest Premier Junior Football at gmail.com.
Excellent, thank you. 9 o'clock, workshops begin, phase 1. We've got Understanding My Power Traits. Presenter is Tarika. My apologies. Fascion, thank you. Clarence, you want to get a little detail there?
If you are interested in finding out how you're wired and how you learn, oftentimes kids are labeled, adults are labeled, but oftentimes children are labeled and they're giving these learning plans, but the reality is they are genius if you find out how they're wired and how they learn. Tarika has become an expert. She's been trained. She's even did work going toward her dissertation on some of this stuff, and you guys don't want to miss her. No. She is passionate about helping you discover your why and how you're wired for purpose and to put you on track with the best learning style that fits your child. So you're not going to keep butting your head against the wall, because sometimes we're sending our kids into a place, and they're teaching in a style, let's just say, I'm gonna use this example, is a square and your child's a circle. It just don't fit.
No.
And you're upset with them, like, why don't you get this? Why don't you understand? They don't learn that way. Put them in the best situation to learn so that they can excel. And there's so many opportunities when you learn that. So Tarika's going to be sharing insight on that. She'll be introducing the Book of Me, which we're going to be utilizing through Premier Youth Sports, through the Day 1 to D1 program that we'll be offering in the off season. So definitely come out here, check this out. And this is free to everybody. You don't even have to be a part of the league.
Right.
Yep.
Just come
So
out.
it doesn't matter if you're elementary, middle school, high
We
school.
don't
This
care.
is free to everybody. Come on out, come learn and experience this. So she's going to do it 2 sessions. This is the first session.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, I've sat at the table with Tarika. We've all sat at the table, and I was on the edge of my seat because I struggled in school. And if somebody gave me that information, gave my parents that information, and that's why we want the parents to, because my parents could have advocated for me when I got to college. They could have advocated for me, knowing how I learned. So get there, get that info, because we want everybody to be educated on how your kids learn better.
Yeah.
Because it's only going to help you. This information is only going to help you. So please don't miss that. La La Land, uncovering the reality of the college process. Every parent and student should know. This is my man Dion Shell's coming out to run this workshop. And again, grad techs, you don't want to miss this. As we've told you time and time again, Premier Youth Sports, Northwest Premier, we are about exposure and access. That's all we want to give our kids. If we do that, we did our jobs. And my man Dion here, he's going to tell you how to give your kids access and broaden their horizons.
Hey, you guys don't want to miss Dion.
No.
I'm telling you, this is a young man who has 2 master's degrees. One is in I want to say chemistry or physics. It's something crazy.
Football
and he's played football and basketball.
Yep.
He understands the college recruiting process better than most. And he's going to bring exposure. The name of this workshop, La La Land, is because so many people don't understand the process. They're in La La Land. They think that they need to do this and they need to do that. He's going to give you the right track, and he's also going to expose and educate parents and students to a lot more opportunities. And one of the things that Dion shares with us all the time is that every player's not a D1 player. And you shouldn't try to force your kid to go D1, if that's the case. And more so academically. He's going to talk about the scholarship opportunities and how D2 fits some people better. D3 may be the best fit for some students. At the end of the day, you don't want to miss this workshop. Dion represents over 130 institutions. So he has direct access with scholarship opportunities. So you want to get here. He's going to be talking about college tours that we're planning on offering in the next year or so. We want to start taking 8th graders on college tours so that it can motivate them by the time they get into high school to say, man, that's my goal. I got dreams that I'm trying to get there. So definitely come out, parents. I can't stress it enough. You need to get here to understand this. Taylor, I had an opportunity to sit down with Dion about 6 months ago with my oldest son, and he just began to share the whole clearinghouse process. You'll be amazed how many people don't even have a clue about the clearinghouse. But there's my kid is going to.
You have to go through it. Can I say something to this? When I tell you guys, I'm on the front lines of this. I deal with college coaches every day and kids in recruiting. And what they're offering, I've never heard anyone setting it up this way. This is so incredible and free. I'm a dumb person, but I can tell you, I know that is a good deal. And it's not just free, it's the quality of what it is. That importance, as he talked about it, not every guy in the NFL played at a D1 school. Right? There's guys coming out of D2, D3, NAI. And D2, NAI, they can give you money. So it's not just D1s that are giving full scholarships.
Gotta understand the process.
Yes, and from day 1 of 9th grade, things matter. I have kids that are seniors that all of a sudden they started getting recruited as a junior. And so now they turned it on in the classroom and the field. But because they had failed some classes freshman year, they don't qualify. So to have access to somebody that's showing you a way and early on and getting you prepared for it is invaluable. And that's why I say what these guys are doing, it's not just promoting winning and being the best player. Yeah, you want to do that. but all of these things that are also prepping you, because football is going to end, right? Even if you go play pro, it's an average of 2.7 years.
Right.
Now, what do you do with the money you earned, and how did you set yourself up the rest of your life? And that's what this is, and it's an incredible opportunity. I'm sitting here in awe of what this is and what they're offering.
You guys, you don't want to miss it. We've been telling you about day one to D1. We're trying to make sure that you have this from the beginning. Most teams, most parents, most kids aren't getting this exposure. We're getting it to you at youth football level. So we want you to come out. Don't miss this. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, invite your family, you know, and parents with small children, like, that may be too much for our kids. We're going to have another room set up, maybe with some board games and some other activities. We're not doing video games.
No.
We want to keep their minds engaged, but we will have another room for the smaller kids if they need to go out and just stay busy and stay focused. But we definitely want you to be here. Come get this information. It's definitely going to benefit you.
And bring both parents, bring multiple family members, adults, because I'm telling you right now, the way we got this set up, you're going to pick one of these sessions and go to one. You may be interested in two, so it'd be good to have another adult there that you can split up. Say, hey, I'm going to take La La Land, you go take Dion, and then we'll get back together and we'll share what we both learned. But you want to be able to get all of this. We'll have multiple sessions, but again, there's 3 sessions going on at one time.
You good?
You good?
The beautiful thing is this, you know, and we're going to get to the sports training piece in a minute. The beautiful thing is the workshops are going to go from 9 to 9:50, then they're going to repeat again.
Yep.
From 10 to 10:50. So if you take one, you can go take the other one the next time.
Yep.
But we also have a third workshop.
Yep.
So we have at that 9 o'clock workshop,
Academy.
we have Air Academy that's going to be talking about the benefit of sports training. That'll be Reggie Jones. So he is the owner, former Super Bowl champion, who will be sharing the benefit of sports training. And then we'll also have, has that been confirmed?
Yeah. Yeah, I confirmed with him last
Awesome.
night.
So at the 10 o'clock to 10:50 session, we'll have the benefit of sports training. You'll have an opportunity to hear from the man himself, Mr. Tracy Ford, with Ford Sports Performance. He will actually be doing a workshop as well for parents. So you can get the best of both worlds from 2 tremendous facilities on both ends of the city. One northeast in Bellevue, and one that's going to be further south in the Puyallup area, and everything in between. So we want to make sure you're covered full spectrum, whether it's from sports training to your academic to your college preparation, you know, mentorship, so you guys get it, understand it. We'll talk a little bit about exposure, you know, and then we'll also have tables there. We'll have someone representing the 7-on-7 association will be there. We're going to have a bunch of stuff, quarterback training, everything that you need will be in the house. So you want to be there, you know. So when people are saying, well, what are we getting? Guess what? I want to be honest with you. This was not really even about the football game. This was an excuse to get you exposed so we can make better people. That's our mission statement. We're developing better people to build better communities. So we want you to come out and get exposed to this. And if you have the opportunity to play football, fantastic. Use these skills so you can continue to further your opportunity.
Use
so
football. Don't let it use you.
that's it, man. I like that. I like it. So guys, you definitely want to come out, practice. We will have an 11 o'clock lunch. It's going to be a lunch to go, so that's not going to be a sit down. They will have sandwiches, chips, cookies, and drink prepared for all of our players and coaches. And then the great team will actually head over to Renton Memorial Stadium from 11:15 to 12:45. It's a 90-minute practice. I know it's short, but most of these kids already played. This is exhibition.
Yeah.
And then we're going to run right after that with the green division. They're all 4 teams will be there from 12:45 to 2:15. So have your kids ready. Then that afternoon, that evening at 5:30, our cheerleaders, it's time to celebrate our cheer, you guys. They've been cheering you on all year.
Right.
Go support them. They'll be at Kentwood High School putting on a cheer competition. They have what the flyer said is the amazing Isha. So, and they're bringing a couple of different groups that's going to be there for exhibition, and the competition is going to be fierce. It's going to be some serious competition. I'm hearing folks from CD, Rainier, Ravens. I'm hearing 5-Star. I'm just hearing SeaTac. I'm hearing all these different folks. Auburn, everybody, bring your cheer squads, bring your parents, come on out. It's $5 to get in for adults, $2 for children 12 and under, and 5 and under is free. Make sure you're there to come support our cheer. And then Sunday It's when it all goes down. You know, Sunday, regular schedule, all-star games.
Yep.
9 a.m., freshman,
Get
Green
your
versus
popcorn
Gray.
ready.
Get it ready.
Yep.
It's coming. You
Yep.
know, 11 o'clock, sophomore division, Green versus Gray. 1 o'clock, junior division, Green versus Gray. 3 p.m., the seniors. May have the lights on again.
We
So
might. We just might.
you need to get there. We do
Yeah.
have a couple of spaces that came available on the senior division in the Green and Gray. Have your coaches, not parents,
Yep.
talk to your coaches and have them reach out to the AD or reach out to Charles so they can tell you what spaces are available. They're going to be based on the position. So definitely reach out, make contact. We're excited about this weekend, you guys. And it's just a fantastic opportunity. And I got one last thing that I need to share with you guys. Well, two. I'm lying. I got two. We're almost done. We got AYF Nationals coming up. We are fortunate and blessed to be able to send our 11U SeaTac Sharks are going now to play in the AYF Nationals. And I'll be honest with you guys. I think they got a chance to win it all, man.
Got a shot.
I think this team got a chance to win it all. Let's support our team
Please,
and
let's
represent our region.
Let's do it.
You know,
Yeah.
and then we had our 13U was going to be our Puget Sound Lancers. Just got word they're not going to be able to make the trip. But hopefully we'll work on that next year.
Right.
But they definitely deserve to be
Definitely,
there.
definitely.
A fantastic team. And then our 14U travel team is going to be the Rainier Ravens will be down there competing in the 14U division. And cheer them on. That's a tough division.
It is.
You're talking about Chandler Bears.
Right.
This year, not IE.
Yeah.
Orange County won.
County won.
Yep.
Yeah.
A
Buckeyes.
team they already played. So
Right.
Orange County is going to be there. Chandler Bears is going to be there. Central Virginia Hurricanes is going to be there. Maryland Seahawks are going to be. It's going to be a heck of a national championship. So a lot of talent, you know, national exposure
Right.
down there in Orlando, Florida. So you guys make sure you support them. If there's any way that you can help support these teams, please do. These kids
Show up to
deserve this
bingo. Help
opportunity.
us out.
Yeah, show up to bingo and
Yeah,
help us out.
That's a great way to help. Be at bingo Friday night.
And finally, we're talking about helping. Well, Northwest Premier wants to help. And what we're doing, hopefully by tomorrow, we'll have turkeys available for all our organizations to take out. If there's any families in need that you know that's in our league or connected to you in our league, please let your organizational president know or board member. We're going to have turkeys available. Some teams have organized canned goods. We had some from the gate. So we'll have sides, turkeys. We want to give them to families discreetly. We're not coming out with a camera, taking pictures. This is to bless you, you know, because it's not just about taking. This is about giving. It's better to give than to receive. So we want to be a blessing to folks this Thanksgiving. So, and if you want to help out and get additional turkeys, do so. But we're going to go out and try to purchase at least 100 turkeys tomorrow so that we can get them out for families from Seattle to Lakewood, Washington. So you guys chime in, let your people know. We're here to serve. And again, my name is Clarence Presley. This is our special guest, Taylor Barton. To my right is Deshaun Presley and Charles Burnham. We're signing off and saying God bless you until next time.
Thank you.